During the course of the week, Obi Kubana was dragged on social media because of the post he made about next of kin. All right, and this is a very sensitive but important conversation that everybody, if you have ever bought a property, made any form of investment, or literally building anything tangible for yourself, then it is important that you pay attention to this conversation around next of kin and generally the subject matter of succession. Now, this is a very important legal conversation, and a whole lot of persons invest in real estate, build wealth, buy properties, buy cars, buy a whole lot of things, buy shares, but never pay attention to the subject matter of succession. And as somebody who teaches you how to build wealth through real estate, and being a lawyer myself, it is very important that I also educate you in line based on the legalities around next of kin and succession. So in this video, we want to answer very important questions. Number one, what is the implication of being a next of kin, and can he or she automatically inherit your properties? Number two, we're going to look at sustainable strategies for succession the right way. Number three, we're going to look at the issue of buying properties in the name of your children. Number four, we're going to look at the issue of customs and tradition based on the person who is making the investment. And number five, we're going to critically look at the issue of next of kin in line with the law and how to do what to do to make sure that everything is right even after you have lived a good life and you're no longer on earth. And if time permits, I will look at the issue of investing in real estate as a husband and a wife. My name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. So if you like the real estate entrepreneur, that is this law and real estate as a tool in building wealth for myself and my clients. And this kind of video is very important so that you look at the sustainability of the investments you're making. And yes, this video is brought to you by Fortreal Rei Ltd, the real estate company right here in the very city of Abuja. And as a company, we bring you the very, very best of real estate. We don't just share the strategic investment opportunities with you. We also educate you so that you know how to safely and rightly, and of course, sustainably invest in real estate. Do make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop a comment, and be a part of this family. And very, very importantly, share this particular video with as many people as possible. Let's get right into the conversation. Now, the first question I'm going to address, question is, who is a next of kin? Right? So let's just say and okay. Now, a next of kin, simply put, is somebody who you designate, right, to serve certain responsibilities in case of emergency, right? In case of any need or incapacity, you are not available to attend to certain things. And then usually we request for next of kin at various levels. Even when you're buying properties from us, it is important that you add a next of kin. And then at the end of this video, we're going to critically look at the issue of whether a next of kin can inherit directly, automatically, or not. But by way of definition, a next of kin is generally anyone that you can designate to serve certain responsibilities on your behalf when you are not available, or when you are incapable, or maybe when you are no longer alive. That is the responsibility of a next of kin, primarily. All right, and we're going to look at the implication or the legal implication thereof as it relates to being or not being a next of kin. Now, having looked at a general explanation or definition of who a next of kin is, let us look at judicial precedence. So as lawyers, when a matter goes to court and then a court of law gives a judgment, right? And then that judgment that was given by virtue of that case that was brought before it, we refer to it as judicial precedence. And it is part of how laws are made ultimately. Judicial precedence is part of the laws, as it were, that governs the land, all right? And by virtue of judicial precedent, right, we have some notable cases that have talked about this issue of next of kin, and I'm going to read a couple of them now. Let me not bore you with the citation, right, but let me just read what they said. Now, in the case of Joseph and Fajamilein, I hope I didn't murder the name, the Court of Appeal clarified that the term next of kin refers to the nearest relative, primarily for administrative purposes such as emergency contact or medical decisions. The court emphasized that being named as a next of kin does not automatically entitle one to the deceased estate. Now, generally, there has been the notion of the fact that once you are named a next of kin, then automatically means that you become the owner of the man's properties when he's no longer alive, and that is not true. In fact, one can have next of kin for various reasons, right? You can have a next of kin as your brother, your elder brother, your younger brother. You can have your wife as next of kin, your husband as next of kin for different reasons and different purposes. Next of kin, in fact, when you name one person as next of kin, it doesn't mean that the person is automatically a next of kin in every affairs of your life. Right, so it's important that we understand this. And then, of course, I said that we're going to talk about the issue of succession, because when you don't take charge or have a succession plan, automatically there's going to be a conversation around customs and tradition, and very importantly, if you don't also consider statutory marriage, right? So there's a whole lot of things around the issue of succession, and we don't really talk about it. And thankfully you have me right here, because beyond just telling you to invest in real estate, right, I also want to make sure that you look at your real estate investment at a sustainable level. And if it has to truly be sustainable, at some point you and I will not be here, right? So at that point in time, everything or what takes charge is a conversation around succession. And I think I'm going to have to do a separate video on this subject matter. So the questions are: number one, who can be a next of kin? Anybody can be a next of kin, provided the person is responsible enough to be able to pick calls when a call is needed. In fact, at some point, a next of kin will have to bear certain responsibilities, right? For example, the owner or the guy is not available to do certain things or pay certain bills. It is a next of kin they will call. And at that point in time, it becomes the responsibility of the next of kin to carry out the job of Mr. A when he's no longer available or when he's incapable to carry out the responsibility. Even in the bank, the position remains the same. That you are next of kin doesn't mean that you can automatically have access to the person's account the moment the person is no longer available or the person is no longer alive. So the notion around next of kin automatically inheriting your properties is not correct. In fact, remember I mentioned that there's a conversation around customs and tradition if you don't do the right thing. And I'm going to have that conversation separately on the issue of some of the strategies that you can explore to make sure that you avoid certain general issues if you have properties or investments across the world. And then, of course, I won't forget the joke around some person saying that you are working hard for next of kin, right? The truth about it is that you can make a whole lot of investments, right? And let's take away next of kin for a moment. You can't be working too hard for next of kin, and that is the good thing about the law, because the law has rightly stated that the next of kin does not automatically inherit anybody's property by simply being named as next of kin. There are procedures, there are legal procedures around being named or being able to inherit somebody. Even through a will, there are terms and conditions around owning properties after or through a will, of course depending on the jurisdiction. So in our next video, I'm going to look at succession plan and strategies that you can explore to have the right succession plan so that you don't leave things to chances or customs and traditions. And to be honest with you, you wouldn't like customs and tradition to take precedence as it relates to your investment, especially if you're somebody that truly loves your spouse. And again, this is Africa, so this is a very important conversation that we need to have. And hopefully in that video as well, I'll look at the issue of a husband and wife buying properties together. This is why you should subscribe to this channel. Stay in touch, be a part of this family, because right here, it is beyond just buying and selling real estate. We're looking at the conversations around building sustainably. And of course, to build sustainably, you need a succession plan. So in the next video, we'll have further conversations around this. And again, subscribe to this channel, and very importantly, share this video with as many people as possible. My name again is Raymond Ijama, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. Or if you like, the real estate entrepreneur that is law and real estate as a tool in building wealth for myself and my clients. And I'll see you in the very next video.